Cześć, witam Was w kolejnym odcinku serii Zagrajmy Broken Sword 2 Dymiące lustro. Poprzedni odcinek skończyliśmy sobie właśnie tutaj na komisariacie, natomiast teraz spróbuję się przyjrzeć tej mapie, którą wcześniej oglądał generał z profesorem Oublierem, tak więc spójrzmy.
Señor, leave that child alone.
A no właśnie, tutaj generał nie pozwoli nam obejrzeć mapy, tak więc z pewnością będziemy musieli znaleźć jakiś sposób na to, żeby tej mapie się przyjrzeć. Tymczasem teraz porozmawiajmy sobie z Nico.
Labano tells me he's been seeing a lot of you.
We meet sometimes for lunch, a drink. After you'd gone back to the States, I was pretty lonely, you know.
Lonely? You must have been desperate. Couldn't you just visit the zoo or something? That man we saw talking to the general was Oublier. Didn't you recognize him?
I never met him, remember? The guy I called in Paris claimed to be Oublier, but he sounded nothing like the man in the police station. Maybe the professor really is innocent.
Nah, it's too much of a coincidence that he's here in Quaramonte. Would you like a biscuit?
Gourmet dog? Have you been eating those things, Georges?
Sure, they're great. Guess what this is? Go on, guess.
It's wrought iron, probably from a chimney stack on an old stove.
Well, I suppose it could be. How did she know that?
My grandfather used to work in a foundry.
Take a look at this, Nico.
That's disgusting, Georges. Why are you carrying it around with you?
I don't know. I just can't seem to part with it. Take a look at this.
An eclipse of the sun. Why the sudden interest in astronomy?
I found the cutting in Oubier's house.
Apparently, it's only visible from Central America.
Take a look at this.
Mon Dieu! Where did you get that kind of money?
It's not mine. I found that statement at Oubier's house. Do you have any theories about this stone?
I think that design represents a dog, a Mexican dog.
So, this is the sacred Chihuahua stone? Sheesh.
Dobra, to by było na tyle. Jak widzicie, tutaj jednak nie wszystkie tematy możemy poruszyć, będąc na komisariacie. Nie dało się w ogóle pogadać na temat generała czy profesora Oubliera. Tak więc spróbujemy sobie wyjść na zewnątrz, no i zobaczymy, czy po opuszczeniu tej lokacji będziemy w stanie dowiedzieć się od Nico czegoś więcej. Tak więc przekonajmy się.
Why did you show him the stone?
I thought maybe he might know something about it.
Well, he does now, for sure. He knows we have it.
Did you notice that chart on the police station wall?
Yes, it looked like a map to me, but I couldn't make out the details.
Whatever it was, the general didn't want us to see it. You came on a little strong with the general.
I was merely flattering his ego, Georges. Every man has his Achilles heel.
Maybe, but that guy's weakness isn't in his foot.
A no właśnie, i pojawiły nam się dwa dodatkowe tematy, tak więc trzeba było tą lokację opuścić, żeby móc swobodnie porozmawiać. Ja teraz przejdę w prawą stronę, no i zwróćcie uwagę, że mamy tutaj ciężarówkę. Przy ciężarówce stoi profesor Oublier, a w ciężarówce jest nasz stary znajomy. I ja na początek porozmawiam sobie z profesorem, a potem porozmawiamy z Dwaynem.
Professor Oublier?
Yes? Who are you?
My name is Stobart. George Stobart.
I thought that face was familiar. Remember me, George? Dwayne Henderson.
Hi, Dwayne. Just a moment. I have a few questions to ask the professor here. Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him. In fact, if it wasn't for Kazak, I wouldn't be here.
What?
He's financing my expedition.
Tell me about your wife, Professor.
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
Maybe you don't, but I do. Why was she known as the Little Dachshund?
It was just a silly pet name I used to call her. Somehow some damned reporter found out.
What do you know about my girlfriend's abduction?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was invited to your mansion in Paris.
Not by me, she wasn't. I haven't been home for nearly 7 months.
Have you ever employed a Central American butler or servant?
I've never employed any kind of servant, monsieur.
Would you like a biscuit?
No, thank you.
You should, they're good. I can't get enough of these things. Can you tell me anything about this stone?
Where did you get that?
That's my business.
How much do you want for it?
It's not for sale. Can you identify this statue, Professor?
Oh, yes. Tezcatlipoca, the Lord of Darkness,
A Central American god, right?
a supreme deity. Tezcatlipoca means, literally, smoking mirror. There. You see the mirror shield in his left hand? The Mayans believed he could look into the mirror and see into the hearts of men. He was the wind which came howling in the night in search of victims, and victims they gave him by the thousand.
Human sacrifices?
Men, women, children, animals, anything that bled. The steps of his temple ran red with the blood of sacrifices. The Mayans have a legend that says he'll return one day. I hope I'm not around to see it.
Do you see this label?
Yes, it refers to a company named Condor. What of it?
I traced that company here to Quaramonte. Do you know where I can find the offices of Condor Transglobal?
The company no longer exists. They went bankrupt recently.
I have proof that you are directly involved with Condor.
I used them as shippers to transport artifacts to a gallery in Paris. Beyond that, I have no connection with the company, which, as I said, no longer exists.
Do you know anything about this eclipse, Professor?
Of course. It's not the reason I'm here in Quaramonte, but I'm looking forward to seeing it all the same.
What's your interest in the eclipse, Professor?
Oh, it's purely a layman's curiosity. History's my subject, not astronomy. But I've been fascinated by the movements of the heavenly bodies since I was a child. I wouldn't miss a total eclipse for the world.
Does the eclipse have some special significance for you?
For me? No. For the ancient Mayans, it marked the end of the Fifth Age.
Perhaps we should be celebrating.
Ah, no. The end of each age heralds destruction on a global scale. The fifth is the final age, ending in the total destruction of the Earth.
Take a look at this, Professor. What have you got to say about that?
Where did you get this?
Never mind that. How do you explain these withdrawals?
I left my financial affairs in the hands of my secretary.
Including the withdrawal of funds in cash from your personal account?
I trust Gwyneth implicitly.
And why Marseille? Why the very place my girlfriend was taken?
That's obvious, Stobart. We are both the victims of the same devious plot.
What plot?
I have no idea.
Dosyć ciekawa jest tu postać profesora, sporo nam opowiedział, natomiast twierdzi, że oboje jesteśmy ofiarami jakiejś intrygi, o której w sumie za wiele nie wie. Ciekawe. No ale nic, teraz porozmawiajmy sobie z Dwaynem.
Are you still working for... you know who?
Who's that, George? You know I'm retired.
Oh, nothing. Forget it. I confused you with somebody else.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Do you think the general was involved with Condor?
Hell no. And if he's a general, I'm a Buddhist. No, that fella's just a mouthpiece for the real power in Quaramonte.
So the general is nothing but a puppet?
He's like Pinocchio before he met the Blue Rinse Fairy. Strictly strings and wood.
Who's pulling the strings?
His mother. Better known as La Presidenta, the dictator.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Sounds like a comic book villain to me, son.
He's the man behind Condor, and the rat who kidnapped Nico.
You know, the first time I met you, I was deeply impressed with your naive simplicity. I said to Pearl, if we ever had kids, I would have wanted a boy like George. But I underestimated you, son.
I spoke to Pearl earlier.
Yeah? Did she mention that we had a kind of falling out?
Yes, she did.
She'll get over it.
Did you drive all the way down here?
Hell no. Pearl did the driving while I followed the maps. The way she handled the wheel, you'd think she'd been trucking half her life.
What's in the truck, Dwayne?
Oh, just camping equipment. sleeping bags and tents. Me and Pearl always hankered after a taste of the great outdoors.
Aren't you worried about camping out in a tropical jungle?
We had a trial run in West Virginia. This'll be a breeze in comparison.
Would you like a biscuit, Dwayne?
Oh no, those gourmet dog snacks bring me out in a rash.
You've tried them?
They were on special offer. Pearl bought a whole crate. When I asked her if she was thinking of keeping a dog too, she just laughed.
Would you like to borrow my lucky piece of coal, Dwayne?
What's so lucky about it?
Well, we made it to Quaramonte in one piece.
When you've been here a few days, you won't look on that as luck.
Do you know anything about a shipping company called Condor Transglobal?
I never heard of it, son.
What do you think of these panties, Dwayne?
Lord, hot stuff, George. You buy those for your girl?
No, a guy we knew in Paris bought them for her.
Oh, you're a threesome then. Why are you looking at me like that, George?
Forget it.
Znowuż dla odmiany od Dwayna zbyt wiele się nie dowiedzieliśmy, no ale trudno. Teraz wrócimy sobie w lewą stronę tej lokacji. Tutaj byliśmy już wcześniej. Dokładnie jest tutaj takich dwóch mężczyzn. Są to grajkowie, tak, panowie z instrumentami, tak więc myślę, że teraz podejdziemy sobie do nich, no i spróbujemy zagadać. Zobaczymy, czy uda nam się czegoś ciekawego od nich dowiedzieć, tak więc sprawdźmy.
Hey, cheer up, guys. What's with the long faces?
Our pipe player has been arrested and thrown in jail.
Poor Miguel. He never broke the law in his life.
Why was Miguel put in jail?
For playing folk music.
What?
It's true, senor. He insisted on playing traditional Quaramonte music, even though it's illegal.
Why don't you try playing a tune to cheer yourselves up?
No, we should be looking for real jobs.
We could earn 10 times as much down the mines. My cousin Ramirez was earning 8 pesos an hour.
Before he lost his legs in the accident.
Tell me about the accident at the mine.
There was an explosion at Teoculcan. 30 miners were buried alive.
They got some of them out, though.
2 of them, including your cousin, and they left half of him behind.
Tell me about the general. You know, the guy in charge around here.
We don't want to talk about him, senor.
How come? No one can hear you. Well, only that old goat.
In Quaramonte we have a saying. Don't tell your old goat what you don't want your wife to know.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Would either of you guys care for a biscuit?
A dog biscuit, senor?
Are you trying to insult us?
No, really. They're good.
We'll take your word for it.
Have you any idea what this is?
No, senor.
Me neither.
Have you seen anything like...
I, the hungry chief.
Why are you carrying that thing around with you, senor? Don't you know who it is?
Sure, it's Tezcatlipoca. But it's only a little carving.
It brings death, senor. Death and destruction.
What do you make of this little worm?
No good. It's dead.
Sure it's dead. You think I'd carry it around in my pocket if it wasn't? Take a look at the design on this label.
I have seen that before.
Where?
There was a ship flying a flag just like that.
When did you see this ship?
3 months ago. It was here, at the docks.
What was the ship with the condor flag carrying?
I don't know, senor. We weren't allowed near the docks.
That's right. Usually we meet the ships when they tie up.
We played to the tourists.
Well, when the Condor ship came in, we were told to go away.
Do you guys know anything about a total eclipse?
What is it?
It's like when the sun is hidden by the moon.
He's crazy.
My cousin Alfredo swears he saw it happen once. But that was after he stupidly consumed a cocktail of peyote and antibiotics.
Okazuje się, że kompan tychże mężczyzn został aresztowany za granie muzyki ludowej. Jest to dosyć dziwne. Natomiast no nic, spróbujmy jeszcze pogadać z Nico.
There was nothing else I wanted to talk to Nico about at that time.
Tym razem już niestety nie mamy o czym rozmawiać z Nico, no ale to nie szkodzi. Wrócimy sobie z powrotem do lokacji z ciężarówką i do naszego znajomego Dwayna. Myślę, że to będzie właściwa osoba, z którą powinniśmy teraz porozmawiać. Zwróćcie uwagę, że profesora już nie ma, tak więc wróćmy do rozmowy z Dwaynem i opowiedzmy mu o grajkach.
Did you know that traditional music is illegal in Caramonte?
Is that so? Seems reasonable to me.
No, really. The leader of the band in the square has been imprisoned just because of the music he played.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that fella, Miguel, he's an agitator.
What's the real reason the musician was imprisoned?
Handed out subversive literature at the mines. That so-called general was waiting for Miguel when he got back into town. Marched him off to jail at gunpoint on a charge of inciting a riot.
Maybe I'm wrong, but you seemed kind of evasive when I asked you about what you had in that truck before.
Damn right I was being evasive. I couldn't talk in front of the foreign national, see? George, I'm on a top-secret classified mission for Uncle Sam. This truck is a rolling bomb. 400 pounds of nitrate fertilizer with a plastique initiator. They'll hear the bang in China. Gee, I'm really looking forward to this.
Is Miguel the reason you're here?
Pretty smart, George. I was supposed to make contact with him. By the time I found him, though, he was in jail. I've been trying to figure out a way to get him out since then.
Sounds good to me. Count me in.
Good man, George. All I need is a detonator.
How come you brought a truckload of explosives but no detonator?
Call me old-fashioned, but I say packing trunks is woman's work. I left the packing to Pearl, and I can't find a darn thing. Just hope she remembered to bring my denture polish. I'd sure hate to arrive back in the States with tar on my teeth.
Have you really never heard of Condor?
Of course I have, son. Matter of fact, it was old Dwayne's investigations scared him off.
Did you find any evidence of Condor's drug smuggling operations?
Drugs? Hell no! Condor was a cover for the illegal export of Mayan artifacts.
So who was behind Condor Transglobal?
It was registered in the name of Edan.
Did you get the guy?
I don't think he ever existed. Edan backwards spells Nady, Spanish for nobody.
Okazuje się, że Dwayne prowadzi jakąś tajną misję, a jego ciężarówka jest wypełniona bodajże saletrą amonową, czyli głównym składnikiem materiału wybuchowego, którego w zasadzie można sobie zrobić samemu w domu. Tylko że nawet najlepszy materiał wybuchowy, czy najprostszy materiał wybuchowy potrzebuje detonatora i to właśnie będzie teraz cel naszych poszukiwań. Gdzie w tym miejscu moglibyśmy znaleźć detonator? No na pewno w miejscu związanym z kopalnią, czy też szeroko pojętym górnictwem. Myślę, że właśnie teraz udamy się do budynku zarządu kopalni. Tutaj, jak widzicie, mamy piękną, rudą panią kierownik. No i cóż, porozmawiamy z nią. Być może będzie w stanie nam dać detonator lub wskazać miejsce, w którym będziemy mogli go znaleźć.
Hola, señora.
Hi. We were wondering...
I was talking to the lady, chico.
Hi, my name is Nicole Collard.
Concha Garcia. How can I help you, sister?
The corporation I represent is considering a major investment in Quaramonte. Your advice, as the head of an obviously successful concern, is precisely what I'm after. My assistant, Mr. Stobart, has a few questions he'd like to ask you.
Do you have any kind of detonating device in stock?
Sure. They're kept in that cupboard.
I don't suppose you have one spare?
I can't simply give you a device like that, no without a damn good reason.
Have you heard of a man named Karzak?
No? Who is he?
He's the reason we came to Quaramonte. We think he's running a drug ring.
Well, I hope you find him, but I've never heard the name before.
Do you know Professor Ubier?
Yes. I understand he is about to embark on an archaeological expedition. He hired some equipment from me earlier today.
I overheard him talking to the general. I think they're working together.
What? If I'd known that, I wouldn't have hired out the equipment. Now, why would the general be interested in an archaeologist?
Can you tell me about the accident at the mine?
Accident? It was sabotage. Somebody wanted my mine closed down for good.
Do you have any evidence that the mine was sabotaged?
Not yet, but I'll get to the bottom of it. There'd been trouble at that mine for several months. The workforce was getting smaller every day. Someone had started a rumor among the men that the mine was cursed. Now the entire operation has been closed down.
Where's the site of the mine?
Several days upriver at a remote area known as Teoculcan.
Would you like a dog biscuit?
Would you like a smack in the mouth, Chico?
Does this stone mean anything to you?
I think it is a spirit stone carved by a Mayan priest, no? I don't know which of their many gods it represents.
Can you tell me anything about this statue?
It is Tezcatlipoca, the god of death and pestilence. That fetish would be considered by many to be a bad omen.
Do you recognize the icon on this label?
Condor Transglobal.
Did the company operate here in Caramonte?
Yes, they ran an old container ship, the Mayan Princess.
Do you know who owned Condor Transglobal?
I've no idea.
You see this? It's my lucky piece of coal.
What's so lucky about it?
I'm not sure yet.
Nice buns.
Powiem wam, że jestem bardzo zdziwiona tym elementem erotycznym zawartym w tej grze. Tutaj mamy panią kierownik i samych męskich pracowników chodzących bez spodni i bez bielizny. No jest to dosyć dziwne.
The general has a chart in his office, which he was discussing with Ubier.
Perhaps that chart will tell us where they're heading.
Maybe, but I can't get anywhere near it while the general and his sidekick are there. Have you heard about the forthcoming eclipse?
I don't take much interest in things like that. One of the boys might know about it.
Would you be interested in these panties? They look about your size.
Is that your best line, Chico?
I'm serious. They were an unwanted gift.
Put them away before you get overexcited.
Dobra, i to by było na tyle, teraz już spokojnie możemy sobie tą lokację opuścić. Natomiast fakt jest faktem, że będziemy musieli wymyślić jakiś sposób na to, żeby pozbyć się generała z komisariatu. Kluczowym jest teraz obejrzenie tej mapy, którą wcześniej generał oglądał z profesorem Oublierem, natomiast będzie to niemożliwe tak długo, jak generał jest na komisariacie. Co więcej, dobrze byłoby jeszcze pozbyć się jego współpracownika, tego starszego pana, który wypełniał dokumenty, ale tym zajmiemy się za chwilę. Tymczasem ja chciałam sobie jeszcze obejrzeć plakat, wisi tutaj na budynku, tak więc spójrzmy.
In Quaramonte, defacing a poster was probably a capital offense.
No niestety ku mojemu rozczarowaniu nie ma tam nic ciekawego, żadnego ciekawego komentarza czy też opisu. Natomiast teraz już porozmawiamy sobie z Nico, no i zaplanujemy w jaki sposób pozbyć się generała z komisariatu.
Could you distract the general while I took a look at that chart?
You're kidding. Did you see the way he was leering at me?
Yeah, you'd make a great snake charmer. Come on, 5 minutes is all I need.
Well, maybe. But it's your harebrained scheme. You do the talking.
Całe szczęście Nico zgodziła się na nasz plan. Tutaj myślę, że nie będzie większych problemów z pozbyciem się generała z komisariatu, ponieważ wygląda on i zachowuje się jak mężczyzna, który bardzo, bardzo lubi kobiety, a Nico ewidentnie wpadło mu w oko, więc myślę, że nie powinna mieć ona żadnych większych problemów z wyciągnięciem go z komisariatu. Natomiast całą tą akcję przeprowadzimy sobie już w ramach kolejnego odcinka. Na dziś to będzie już tyle. Mam nadzieję, że odcinek Wam się podobał, że całą serię będzie Wam się oglądać bardzo przyjemnie. No i cóż, oczywiście zapraszam Was do kolejnego odcinka, a tymczasem żegnam się już z Wami, tak więc trzymajcie się. Hej!